How we doing?
You?
Good. All right. Great recap from this past weekend. I thought our fans were awesome, and it was a fun game for our players. You know, it's a physical game, but I thought our guys went out there and competed and did a great job. But certainly excited about the challenge in front of us now, going to Michigan. Talented team. You know, I think that last I looked, they've got 5 guys that are projected to be drafted in the first round. They've got talent across the board, and you know, certainly have the ability to play a really good game. So it's going to be a good challenge for our guys, especially making the trip there to a place that we haven't been before.
Middle left, Eric.
You mentioned the 5 projected first round, and 2 of those are on the interior defensive line, kind of right next to each other.
Yeah.
What makes that duo so good, and kind of how can they cause problems for an offense?
Yeah, you watch them; they're game wreckers, right? They're guys that you have to have a game plan for. You know, but 78 and 55 both, they make an impact, you know, consistently in the game. They beat, you know, single blocks. They're certainly good against double teams. They're good against the run and the pass. So they're guys that you have to spend time and effort for. And, you know, anytime you have guys like that up front, it makes it easier to cover in the back end.
Front left, James.
Following with that, what makes Zero Stewart so effective off the edge for them?
Yeah, his power and twitch. You know, again, plays with power, but it also has speed and twitch and ability. So it's not just certainly not a finesse rusher. He plays it a certain way, but he's a talented guy.
Back left, Aaron.
Michigan's tight end, I think, leads in yards, targets, touchdowns. Just what have you kind of seen from him on film, and what makes him dangerous and also available for those stats?
Yeah, I mean, he's versatile. You know, they use him in a lot of different ways. He's the guy that you have to know where he's on the field at all times. They move him all over the place. He can split out a wideout and be one of the best wideouts in the field, and then line up, you know, in the backfield or line up at tight end and be the best at that position. So he's a really talented player that they're going to find ways to use, right? He's an important piece of their offense.
Back right, Brett.
Coach, Michigan's run defense has struggled at least over the last couple of weeks. Do you feel like that's an area of attack you feel like you guys can take advantage over this weekend?
Well, I mean, it's something we're preparing for is the ability to be able to run the ball on a team like this. I think that's important when you play in games like this. They've always been a really physical run game, you know, team. They've always done a good job of running well, and I think our offense and our team is most efficient when we have a good run game going. So that'll be an important piece for us to try to figure out.
Back left, Matt.
Every team has to deal with injuries, but why do you feel like this one's been able to work through either the Bedford one in fall camp or Birch and Ferguson's absence? Just how have you guys been able to kind of get through those and still improve and get better?
Yeah, I think a lot of it's credit to our players not waiting for their moment to step up, but stepping up and being prepared for their moment. You know, we've had a lot of guys that maybe they weren't going to be the guy that took a ton of the reps at the beginning, and their reps have increased as their production's increased. And, you know, you say at the beginning of every season, like, I don't know if people realize what this guy's role might become, but we've had a lot of guys' roles that have grown because of, you know, availability, you know, and being available. But also they were ready for those moments when those moments came.
Middle left, Eric.
Is there an explanation for why they didn't review? It looked like a fumble on Saturday, clear fumble and recovery. Was there an explanation offered?
They had ruled it forward progress.
Front left, James.
Sounds like Will Johnson is going to be closest to a game-time decision, possibly out. But what kind of impact does he have on their secondary, having him versus when he's not there?
Yeah, he's a great player. He's a great player. He has ball production. He gets in and out of breaks. He's able to take away, you know, a side of the field. So, you know, he's definitely a guy that would make an impact.
Back right, Brett.
Coach, over the last couple of weeks, we've heard from this team just not care about the polls, not care about being number one. Why do you feel like that mentality is so important to have on the team? And is that something that the guys just kind of started to have from the beginning of the season? Is that something you instilled? Just where did that kind of come from?
No, I just don't think we've ever measured ourselves based on what other people think. And that doesn't necessarily change. And we have our own internal goals that, you know, and our plan of what we want to be. And really, at the beginning of every year, everybody asks me what's success look like. And to me, it looks like us playing our best football at the end of the season. So that's our goal, is to put ourselves in position to play our best football and focus on the process, not the result.
Back left, Matt.
They've had a shuffle at quarterback. Davis Warren, though, looks like to be the guy moving forward. What stands out with him, and how has that altered preparations of just multiple guys at that position?
Yeah, and then obviously Orji played again, you know, in the last game as well. So it's different based on who's in the game. They're both capable and they can win in different ways, right? But you know, I think he played well in the last game, and I think getting in a rhythm and finding some consistency is probably important for them. But they both can beat you in different ways. They can throw the ball. Obviously, they do a great job of establishing the run game, and that's something that Ten will bring in a little bit more as he comes in. But he's also proven to have the ability to pass. So you have to prepare for a little bit more when you have to go against a team like this. And we've had some longer weeks at times when we play Friday games. This is not one of those situations. So it's a matter of you making sure that you can be sound and simple for your guys, but also create some complicated looks for the opponent.
Middle left, Eric.
Wondering if you've ever been to Michigan Stadium, and if not,
First
kinda
time.
What do you know? Yeah, what have you heard about, and what do you know about it?
Heard it's big. Yeah, heard it's big. I know it's one of the, that's one of the things I think that's exciting about being in this conference is getting the opportunity to play at some historic places, and this is certainly a historic place.
Front left, James.
What'll go into managing the guys who are sitting on 4 games and whether or not they redshirt, whether it's Tion or Blake or Rod, because you do have some depth there. Will you bother to travel those guys, or will you try to avoid that? To preserve
Yeah, we'll keep that in house. We always make the best decision for the players on our team and our team.
Back left, Aaron.
What do you feel like you and maybe the team learned about traveling across the country to play Purdue and hoping to take into preparation for this week?
Yeah, just experience more than anything. Just the experience of being able to do that. Traveling for games is not new. It's not like we didn't travel for games last year, but this is certainly a longer distance, and we'll continue to adapt and prepare for it.
Back left, Matt.
Go back to your first year here and Justice Lowe's recruitment of just why you guys offered him late, the involvement there, and how it's played out for him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just really proud of more than anything Justice. He when he first got here, he's dinged up with some injuries, and it kind of limited his ability to be on the field. And we always felt like if he was a guy that was available, he was going to be a guy that can make an impact. And I think, he's probably had a little bit of a chip on his shoulder because he realized, hey, I haven't been available, and he's playing tough, right? More than anything, I tell you that Justice Lowe's playing tough football, right? He's become one of our best blockers in that room, but he also runs really precise routes. He's a guy you can line up at any position and trust that he's going to do his job. So again, I think he's stepped up and grown every single year, every single week, and become one of the guys that we all have a lot of faith in when he's out there on the field.
Middle left, Eric.
I wonder if there's a progress report for Terrence and Jordan.
Yeah, I think we have guys that are questionable that are going to be practiced with it this week. Both those guys were available to practice today, but we'll again put our players' best interest in mind as we prepare for this week.
Front left, James.
I don't think you've had to do too much silent counts on the road, maybe a little bit early at Oregon State, but this is 110,000 people. How do you feel like that aspect of things in practice and from snap-wise from Poncho, how that's gone for the last 6 weeks?
Yeah, we always prepare for it. So we prepare for it in games that we're not in games that it'll be necessary. So it's something we carry all the way through fall camp. And you always have a plan based on if it's something that's necessary or not and assess it when you get there.
Back left, Aaron.
Since year one, you've always done a little Halloween get together. What was your favorite costume from last night?
Good question. Seeing Coach Stein dressed up in Paw Patrol was pretty good. Trying to think what else was out there. Yeah, I think the Lapoy boys were both like Mario and Luigi, so those were pretty good looks.
Back left, Matt.
You guys are the only team with 3 top 25 wins this season. How will that help you going into this weekend? I know they're not ranked, but it's still going to be a hostile environment and a good team.
Yeah, I mean we're getting an opportunity to play the reigning national champions, right? And this is in this conference, it's hard every single week. So and we know that we'll get their best. So it's exciting to have a chance. We got to play in some games that are fun for us so far this year and challenging, and this will certainly be a challenge.
Front left, James.
Looked like Shaq was in a walking boot, and Kamari may not have been around this past weekend. Just what's their statuses at the moment?
Yeah, I think they'll both be good.
Last question, James.
From their run game and their 2 backs, what makes them effective and how Mullings has been able to convert from linebacker and turn into a lead rusher for them?
Yeah, just more than anything, they don't go down on first contact. They're guys that break tackles. They do a great job of winning at the point of attack. Their offensive line moves people. This is one of the better offensive lines that we've gone against, if not the best. And again, they're always adding extra hats, whether it's another tight end, fullback body types. At times, they do a great job of getting extra hats at the point of attack.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate your time. guys did an all right job picking up for Zach. So I think he's absent.